Hello students, today we are going to read and understand chapter number 1, A Letter to God, written by G.L. Fuentes. So before we go on and start the main story, I would suggest you all to read out the before you read section, alright? Because this section will help you to get an insight about the chapter and also will give you some questions that can come into your mind, and then it will create a curiosity in you so that you will try to find out those questions and their answers. All right, so you must go through the before you read section, and then here you will see an activity that says that one of the cheapest ways to send money to someone is through the post office. So again, here are some questions which is asking you, have you ever sent or received money in this way? Here's what you have to do. So further you will see that there are some steps. So these are the steps you can see to send money or to fill out the money order form, and you need to follow those steps. Here some difficult words are also given that you have to find out the meaning of, and in case you find any difficulty you can consult a dictionary also. All right, so this is how the money order form looks like. I would suggest you to follow those steps and try to fill out the form yourself. All right, now coming back to the story, the paragraph 1 talks about a house which is the only one in the entire valley, which is the sole house in the entire valley, set on the crest of a low hill. The meaning of crest is given here, that is top of a hill. So this means that you can see from this height, anyone can see the good harvest that has happened in this valley, and a field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. So here the only thing which is required in this area, in this valley, is a heavy downpour. Now downpour and shower has different meanings. Downpour is heavy rainfall and shower is light drizzling or light rainfall. And throughout the morning, Lencho, who's the main character of this story, he knew his field intimately. Now intimately means a person who has a detailed knowledge about his things or about his skills, right? So he knows his field very well, and he has been doing nothing throughout the morning. Since morning he is just waiting eagerly for the rainfall to happen, and he was watching the sky towards the northeast direction. And after that he said to his wife, now we are really going to get some water, woman. Now woman here is his wife, and she replied, yes, God willing, means that she is being positive, and she says, yes, if God wish. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all. So now the older boys, means the elder one, they used to work in the fields, and the younger smaller ones, they used to play near the house, and his wife called them all to have the dinner. So now this time only Lencho had predicted big drops of rain began to fall. So during their dinner time, Lencho was very positive, hopeful, and he assumed that definitely there is going to be a good rainfall, because he has been observing mountains of clouds, big sizes of clouds coming from the northeast direction, and he was very hopeful and positive to see that. The air was fresh and sweet, so he could smell the fresh and sweet air. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed. Now, what is exclaimed? Exclaimed is a strong emotion that you give out, whether in pain or in surprise. So, that is exclaim. These aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5s. So, now here again he says, these aren't raindrops falling from the sky. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5s. So for him, the raindrops were not just a drop of water. For him and his fields, it was very much required and it was very much needed. His fields and his harvest needed it very badly. So to have a good harvest, and so that he can sell out his harvest on good prices, he compared the raindrops with money. The big cent he compared it with 10 rupees, and the small drops he compared it with 5 rupees. So this is what he meant to say. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. Again, he has been comparing, and he was very hopeful and positive, and he regarded his field that it is looking like, or it will soon draped in a curtain of rain. It will be covered with the curtain of rain. So he has been very positive and he is comparing. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. And suddenly, he can see that a strong breeze is coming from that direction, and large hailstones are falling from the sky. And this is the time when he get heartbroken. And these truly did resemble new silver coins. Now, what is resemble? To have similarity, to look like, to have similar appearance. So here the writer wants to say that these hailstones are looking like silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Again, the hailstones are being compared with the frozen pearls. So you can see a lot of comparison is being made, and these kind of comparisons, when we see in writing, in story, or in novels, we we call it a metaphor, right? Now, next paragraph. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. So now he's getting irritated, and now he's saying that it's really getting bad, and now he wants it to end soon. So he's worried, but it did not end soon. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white as if covered with salt. So now covered with salt, again a scenario, a scene, a picture is given to you where you can see the comparison has been made. Not a leaf remained on the trees. You cannot see a single leaf that has left on the tree. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lenko's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we'll have no corn, all our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. So now, again, we can, after reading the paragraph, we can assume the scenario that the corn was totally destroyed. There was nothing left, no flowers, no leaves, nothing in the plants. And obviously Lenko and his entire family, they all became very sad. The storm had gone, and he was so disappointed that he stood in the middle of the field, and he said to his sons that a plague of locusts, okay, a plague of locusts. So अभी soon we have heard about grasshoppers attack, जिसको हम हिंदी में टिड्डियों का हमला कहते हैं. So these locusts, the meaning here is given insects which fly in big swarms, group and destroy crops. So these are particularly known for destroying the crops. They are very dangerous for the crops. So they eat it and destroy it. So what he has assumed that a plague of locusts means a group of locusts would have left something. But this hail has left nothing for us, and what we will eat this year, we'll have no corn. And that night was very sad and sorrowful for them. Whatever work they have been doing since the entire year, they have got nothing from that, and there is now no one who can help them. So he was very disappointed, and he said that we all go hungry this year. We all have to be hungry this year, and how we will survive this year. So this is the question. So again, you can see some questions are given here that you have to find out the answers. And after that, next paragraph. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. So, if we talk about Lenchu and his family, they have an immense amount of faith in God. The they were all alone in that entire valley. There was no other hope, there was no other house, and they had no hope that they could take any help from anybody. So they had only one single hope, which is the help from God. Don't be so upset even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lenko thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Alright? So now they have been consoling each other. Don't be so upset because no one dies of hunger, even though they had nothing to eat, nothing left to eat, and they are very disappointed what they will do, but still they have one hope, and that is the help from God. And he believes that God can see everything beyond your imagination, inside you, deep in one conscience. The meaning is given here, an inner sense of right and wrong. So even deep in your conscience, what you are thinking, that what you are going to do, whether it is right or wrong, God knows everything. So basically it means that God can see everything beyond anything. Lenko was an ox of a man working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. So Lenko was an ox of a man. Again, here a metaphor is used. An ox of a man is a comparison of an animal of a man to an animal and about his skills and abilities. So these kind of comparison of a person with an object or animal, these we use to highlight somebody. It's called a metaphor. So he used to work very hard in his fields throughout the day, but still he knew how to write. And the following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. So he decided that now he will write a letter to God. And what does he write? He has written, God, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my fields and again to live until the crops comes because the hailstorm. Alright, so he has written his entire story, his entire scenario, and his entire trouble, and what does he actually needed, and from God. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. So, on the above, addressing to God, he has written the letter. And very troubled, he went to town and at last he dropped the letter. One of the employees, who was a postman, also helped at the post office, went to his boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. So now laughing heartily, what is the meaning of laughing heartily? Laughing loudly with full of emotion, because he had never seen in his entire life that somebody has written a letter to God. So he was feeling very funny about it. Alright. So now here we'll talk about the postmaster, who is a fat, amiable fellow. Amiable, the meaning is given here, friendly and pleasant. Also broke out laughing, but almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk commented, "What fate! I wish I had the fate of the man who wrote this letter." Starting up a correspondence with God. So now he has been laughing loudly, heartily, but immediately he turned out serious and tapping to keep something with a sound, to pat somebody with a sound. So that is tapping. The letter on the desk, he also said, "What fate! I wish I had the fate of the man who wrote this letter. I wish I had the trust, I have the kind of belief that this man has, and even he can write a letter to God, starting up a correspondence with God." Starting up a correspondence means maintaining a connection and starting a connection directly to God. He has written this letter. So I wish I could have this kind of faith. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea, answered the letter. So, they all decided that, okay, after seeing his faith, they decided that we will write a letter, we will help this man and we will answer this letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper. So, here, that is what, that they just that does not need to answer the letter in writing, or they cannot help him just with the words. They have to help him with something else also. Only goodwill or ink or paper will not complete his desire, or will not help him completely, or cannot fulfill his requirement. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave a part of his salary. But even after knowing that they will need something more than all of these things, he stuck to his resolution. Now, what does this mean? This means he stuck to his decision. Resolution is a firm decision that we take, that we will do definitely and it will not change. So it's a kind of firm decision to do something. So he stuck to his decision and he asked for money to his employees, and he himself gave a part of his salary, and several other friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Now, what is an act of charity? When you try to help somebody with some goodwill and good intention without seeking any kind of benefit. So that is the charity that we do. All right. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lengo, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. So now somehow they gather some money, but it could not be a total of 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. He put the money in an envelope and they write his name, and at the end they also put a signature containing God, so that he could not get an idea and his faith should not be broken and should not be shaken, that somebody else have helped him, and they wanted his faith to be remain the same. So that is why they put the signature of God, so that he continues to believe on God the same way he has been doing. Now again, here you will find some other questions that you should consider and try to contemplate and try to figure out. Okay, and after that The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. So again, the Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier, a bit sooner than usual, than his daily routine, and he inquired whether there is any kind of letter for him. So the postman himself handed the letter to him. He had himself given the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment, the postmaster wanted to see, observe, and feel his satisfaction of that man, of Lencho, when he will receive the letter, the envelope, and when he will receive the letter, and when he will receive the money. So what expressions, what reaction will he give? It will be very delightful and very positive to watch. So he has been experiencing that. Contentment means satisfaction. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money, such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. So Lencho, after receiving the envelope, he was not even the slightest surprised. He has not showed, because he was not surprised, because he had a blind faith on God that he will definitely going to receive some money or a letter, something from God. He was not surprised at all. Such was his confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. Alright. God could not have made a mistake. He thought that God cannot make any mistake. God would have definitely sent me the money I have asked for. Nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested, and he could not also deny what he wanted. Immediately, Lencho went up to the window to ask for ink and paper. On the public writing table, he started to write with much wrinkling of his brow, caused by the effort he had to make